Vietnam. Follow the smell of charcoal grilled pork down any alley in Hanoi, and you'll find a low plastic stool waiting for you. This is a country that eats on the street. Beef bones simmering overnight, fresh herbs piled on every table, baguettes stuffed and handed over in under a minute. French bakeries met rice field cooking here, and the results feed millions every single morning. Here are the 10 dishes you need to try in Vietnam, counting down to the most famous bowl of soup on earth. Number 10. Bún Bò Huế, a spicy beef noodle soup from Hue, the old imperial capital in central Vietnam. The broth is loaded with lemongrass and chili oil. The noodles are thick and round, and slices of slow-cooked beef, shank, float on top. Plenty of Vietnamese will quietly tell you they rate it above pho. The lemongrass hits first, then the heat builds and keeps building. The late chef Anthony Bourdain once called Bún Bò Huế the greatest soup in the world. A breakfast and lunch soup, everyday food in central Vietnam, served at street stalls and simple noodle shops all over the country. Number 9. Bún Chả, a giant crackling rice flour crepe, dyed gold with turmeric and folded over shrimp, pork, and bean sprouts. The name means sizzling cake. It's named for the sound the batter makes the second it hits the hot pan. The fun is in how you eat it. Tear off a piece, wrap it in lettuce with fresh herbs, and dunk it in fish sauce dip. Crunch first, then cool leaves, then salt. An afternoon and evening dish made to order at street stalls and casual eateries. It's most loved in the South, where Mekong Delta versions grow to the size of the plate. Number 8. Chả Cá, chunks of white fish stained yellow with turmeric, sizzled at your own table in a pan of hot oil with a small mountain of fresh dill and spring onions. It's a Hanoi specialty that's been around for well over a century. Dill barely appears anywhere else in Vietnamese cooking, so that first whiff, dill, turmeric, hot oil, belongs to this one dish. You mix it yourself with noodles, roasted peanuts, and a dab of shrimp paste if you're feeling brave. A sit-down dinner rather than street food, and more of a treat than an everyday meal. Some Hanoi restaurants have served nothing else for generations. Number 7. Bún Cuốn, steamed rice sheets so thin they're nearly see-through, rolled around minced pork and wood ear mushrooms, then showered with crispy fried shallots. Watch them being made. Batter ladled onto cloth stretched over a steaming pot, then lifted off with a bamboo stick. One of the softest breakfasts anywhere. Slippery, warm, and savory, brought to life by the fish sauce dip called nuoc cham, served on the side. Strictly a morning food for most locals. Street stalls start rolling at dawn and often sell out well before lunch, so go early. Number 6. Goi Cuốn, fresh spring rolls, served cold and never fried. Chewy rice paper wrapped tight around poached shrimp, sliced pork, vermicelli noodles, and a handful of mint. The wrapper is so thin you can see the pink of the shrimp right through it. Light where fried snacks are heavy, and the thick peanut hoisin dipping sauce is half the point. Locals judge a spring roll place by its sauce before anything else. An everyday snack or starter, sold year-round at street stalls and sit-down restaurants alike. One of the easiest, gentlest first bites in the whole country. Number 5. Café Suoc Da, iced coffee with condensed milk. Strong, dark Robusta coffee drips slowly through a small metal filter onto a layer of sweet condensed milk, then gets stirred over ice. Vietnam is the world's second biggest coffee producer, and you taste it here. In 1940s Hanoi, a milk shortage pushed one cafe owner to whip egg yolk with sugar instead. Egg coffee was born, and it's still a Hanoi favorite today. Robusta beans are far stronger and more bitter than what most visitors drink at home, and the sweet milk tames them into something close to a dessert with a serious kick. A daily ritual from morning to late afternoon, sipped slowly on low stools at sidewalk cafes on nearly every block. Number 4. Cơm Tấm, broken rice topped with a pork chop marinated in fish sauce and sugar, grilled until the edges char sweet and smoky. Broken grains were once the cheap leftovers farmers couldn't sell. Saigon turned them into one of its signature plates. The small broken grains soak up the fish sauce dressing better than whole rice, and you get the works on one plate: pork, a fried egg, pickled vegetables. Originally a breakfast, now eaten at any hour. Casual eateries across Ho Chi Minh City Grill the pork over charcoal right on the sidewalk. You'll smell it a block before you see it. Number 3. Bún Chả. Hanoi's charcoal grilled pork, smoky little patties and slices of pork belly, dropped into a bowl of warm, sweet and sour fish sauce with pickled green papaya. Cold rice noodles and a basket of fresh herbs come on the side, and you dip as you go. Around noon, whole streets in Hanoi's old quarter disappear behind grill smoke. Follow it. In 2016, Barack Obama ate Bún Chả on a plastic stool in Hanoi. The restaurant later sealed his table, bowls and all, inside a glass case. Strictly a lunch dish for Hanoians. Hit a street stall between about 11 and 2 because many places simply close when the pork runs out. Number 2. Bánh Mì. A light, thin-crusted baguette split open and packed with pâté, cold cuts, pickled carrot and daikon, cucumber, cilantro, and fresh chili. The French brought the bread. Vietnam rebuilt everything inside it. In 2011, bánh mì officially entered the Oxford English Dictionary as its own English word. The crust shatters, then everything underneath is soft, sharp, and fresh. Rich pâté against sour pickles in every single bite. And it's assembled in about 60 seconds. Breakfast for millions, but sold from street carts and bakeries morning to night. The fastest good meal in the country. Number 1. Pho. You guessed it before you clicked. But here's what makes the real thing special. Beef bones simmer for hours with charred ginger, onion, star anise, and cinnamon until the broth turns clear and deeply savory. Flat rice noodles go in, then paper-thin raw beef that finishes cooking in the bowl on its way to your table. Everything rests on the broth, and North and South still argue over it. Hanoi keeps the bowl plain and lets the broth speak, while Saigon piles on bean sprouts, extra herbs, and hoisin sauce. First and foremost, a breakfast. Street stalls fire up their pots before dawn, and many locals eat a bowl before work. You can find pho at any hour, but morning is the classic. That's Vietnam in 10 dishes, and honestly, we could have done 30. If you're in Vietnam, we recommend grabbing a bánh mì and Vietnamese iced coffee for breakfast. You can't go wrong with that combo, and it's our personal favorite. Tell us in the comments which dish you'd try first, and call us out if we missed your favorite. A like helps more people find the show, and subscribe so you don't miss the next countdown.